up, family? Peace and blessings. It's your brother, your man, definitely with his ear to the street, standing 10 toes strong. We'll never fold. I was sitting here just looking at some of this news I've been hearing. I'm glad it's quiet today, but I did see continuous police activity. I am over here on 83rd Street. Phew. Go figure. A few blocks from where all that action was going on last night. Lord have mercy. I thought the whole damn, for a minute, I thought the whole city came in here. Real talk. Like, I heard so many police cars. I'm like, what the hell, my girl? I'm telling my girl, what your cousin them did now? Joking, you know. That's how we joke. Like, the hell your nephew and them done did. We don't know these people from a can of paint, but that's crazy. I hope that wasn't one of us who did that. And I can't say they did it because that's what the narrative, what the story is. Prayers out to that woman, the officer, and her family, for sure. And to whoever they caught and hold. I don't have a pony in the race, so I'm not going to speak ill or neither, but I'm going to speak to what I believe is an underlying cause for a lot of what we see going on. Especially when we got the book right here. You got the Bible. We know we're the children of God, then a lot of people don't know. What I take for granted, believing others are aware of or feel the same way. And I gotta stop doing that. It's like I'm just naive, you know? Can't do that. If you haven't been taught and then you haven't programmed your mind on that frequency and tapped in and really standing on that thing like you're supposed to, practice makes perfect. It's not gonna happen. We know better. We know better. Okay. I need to pay this damn cricket bill. I ain't mad at you, cricket. You can't stop my flow. I'm a creator. A creator like my father, which are in heaven. That's like TikTok. They didn't ban my videos, ban my access to make videos. I'm like, huh? And I thought about what I was watching. I was watching the young brother from Ethiopia that moved here when he was a youngin'. He said, I believe his grandma or mom moved him here for, opportunity for a better life. Whoever made the decision felt they can get better, they will have better. You know how people think. I don't knock our elders, but I don't think it's better for us here. I really don't. Especially with so many people walking blindly, like the past don't mean nothing. And I'm seeing the spirit, that same spirit that was against my operating against our ancestors, that everybody like to say, oh, it's better. Or choose the lesser evil. Like, what's the purpose of learning who you are and recognizing the most high creator, but then you're gonna bow down before a man, before some man you don't even fucking know. Let me be brief, let me be honest with you. Towards a white man. They might block my video for saying that, but I don't care. I'm being real. I'm being honest. You say you want a community, then that community need to understand. Everybody's not gonna agree with it, and then with them sitting over there any of these sites, you're not God. So if you're not basing your criteria for establishing an area in your business where you're judging, you off. You don't have the authority. None of you sites. Y'all ain't nothing but platforms. Y'all don't have no damn yes. As a person, we should love one another. That's what if you're gonna establish any criteria, Cause that shit y'all talking about come and go. People break that all day. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Y'all choose to enforce it on those you know y'all can pretty much gauge. Y'all can gauge us from our conversations and our videos, the measure in which we convey the message, and other ways to tell if we sincere or real about what we saying and ultimately what we doing once these cameras go off or while they on. I can tell you now, I'm real about it. You know, when I speak this word, I'm not speaking this word to confuse nobody, and I'm not speaking what I don't know. A lot of y'all act like y'all scared to tell the truth because of whatever reason. I'm not trying to, I don't want to learn how to justify your cowardice. No matter who it is, white, brown, yellow, you're going to get the same story. You can say your religion and what you follow is the truth, but if it's not established and rooted in a foundation where I can test that thing and I see the results of what it's proclaiming and declaring, it's declaring actually what it can do. Family, keep it moving. I done been in them religions. I followed the Christian religion. And I'm like, you really didn't follow the Most High. You followed an organization, a group, which was cool. That was your training ground. I'm not gonna waste my video or my time talking about everything they did wrong. This ain't that. We know what they did wrong. And the problem is we stay stuck in what they did wrong. I'm like, man, black people, y'all wake up. You are God's children of the Most High. And a person that's unlearned or we profess and proclaim, I know I said the right word to fit the context, to fit the context of the message that I'm conveying. Yeah, we proclaim a lot of things, but in order to proclaim something, that has to be based on something you know of a surety. Right? I got testimonies of how God, the infinite power of the Almighty, through me consecrate myself to Him when I was in trouble. Because I know we didn't have no, yeah, I got parents that were prosperous, that were successful and prosperous. Did we have the world? No, but they worked hard to make sure we had. If it was minimal or whatever you call it, we had the best. The evidence is in the pictures. I remember the time myself. So I'm not I came from this dysfunctional home and this and that. Hell no. If anything was moving in a out of order, that was because of decisions that I chose to make because of my hard heartedness, my big headedness. Because I thought I knew everything. I didn't need nobody to show me. Yes, I took advice and I'm teachable, yes. But it's like when you know that you know what you know that you know what you know, you can get kind of big headed. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about. But it's to your detriment, for sure. You may think you winning because you seeing you oh I'm seeing the fruits of my labor. I know what I'm doing. It's multiplying, wooty wooty woo, whatever your story. Be honest with yourself, family. You taking shortcuts. I'm telling you from one who walked among some of the biggest of them. You know, from the streets to the penitentiary, to all these places and people, a lot of these places and people that a lot of y'all look up to, but ain't never been there. You ain't been through no pressure. Just because you've been in an argument and confrontation and pulled a gun, that don't make a person what society may paint them to be. You back a coward in the corner, he'll shoot you faster than the killer. And I'm here to tell you, from my experience, I'm 53. I'll be 54 this year. Killers weren't walking around shooting people all day. That ain't no motherfucking killer. That's an opportunist, family. People taking opportunities because they're psychologically damaged. And a lot of us can't face that because we feel humiliated. We think, hey, I'm a man. I know I'm capable. I'm checking off all boxes. Whatever, they measure me against. I'm checking all them boxes off. Crazy. But not having of who you truly are and the power that you possess, which is greater. That's, that comes from who we are in the Most High. It's not like I sat down and concocted something and now hey, I'm Lord, I rule, you know, and I think I'm greater or better than the next person. No, I'm a servant to the Most High. Yeah, I'm a God, but I'm a servant. I'm little g, like my Father. I can't be nothing else. That's not blasphemy being spoken against the Father. If you know better, you are His son. So when they ask you who your father, what you gonna tell them? You saying God's your father, then you got to demonstrate that. You got to know, like I said, you got to know that you know what you know that you know that you know what you know. It's real out here. I'm not claiming none of that. You got to be careful because you can be tricked. They tricking a lot of brothers and sisters off to do things because you feel you may receive a certain type of reward for your labor. Family. All money ain't good money, you know. Example. And everything I'm talking about is from my life. I'm not telling you nothing where I've seen others. And I'm coming on here trying to sound important or look good. No, I'm telling you from real life experience. You check my background, check my name, run my name. Know who you dealing with. My name carry weight, a little weight because I respect others. And others respect me. And you have to let people know that and demonstrate that. And it's not because I think I'm a tough guy or I would try to destroy somebody. It's the opposite. I'm the one that's speaking life and hands on pouring into others, teaching others. You know, I basically give away my talent. All that's gonna stop though. I got to eat. People don't appreciate. People don't appreciate your kindness. And if you give them a little too much, they might get spoiled. You're a godly man. You want to do things the right way, the lawful way. There's an instruction to everything that we do. It's an instruction, and you're learning. You know, I don't want to know everything, and I don't want to be answer everybody's call. What I got is valuable. The only calls I want to answer is the ones that's going to enrich me. I don't want to be arguing with people, questioning, you know, like, stop playing. You called me for a reason because I bring a solution. Let's get to it. You know it's going to cost. I'm glad I took the conversation that way because I want to speak on that too. I deal with a lot of our brothers and sisters, older, younger. One thing about the elders don't play. They ain't trying to get no let's do a deal, none of that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but that ain't happening on my watch no more. No, I ain't doing that. I love you, and out of the love and respect I have for you, I'm gonna when you bring me, you pay me for a service. That's what you're gonna get, and you might get a little extra with it, and show you how much I appreciate you utilizing my services. Yeah, hire me to serve you. You're gonna get the you're gonna get the results you're looking for, and probably a little more, a whole lot more. To be honest. Ask about Wayne, especially my community. They love me. They be tweaking too though. And a lot of them be acting funny as hell. I gotta tell the truth. Black people be acting funny as hell. But if I was a one-dimensional type dude, I would probably take it personal. But then I got multiples. Look, I'm a man of many meanings. I don't depend on one way, one avenue. And no, I'm not talking about no crime. Brother got knowledge, real knowledge. I could sell this stuff instead of going out there turning boats. I could sell this information. They paying for false information. They paying people to hear bullshit all day. They will pay for some information. People will pay for information that's of value. If you went and took the time and spent 30, $40,000 on an automobile, 20, 30, 10 to 20, $30,000 on an automobile, that means you recognize the importance of having a sound technician that can handle that machine. You don't have to just go to no damn dealer. Our people got a problem. They don't understand how to do business. We've been brainwashed to think that they ice, somebody else ice is colder than ours. And I see it every day. Black people will accuse me of all kind of shit. Like, okay, you need to lead them. They got the wrong mentality. You know, like I might did the brakes, do your brakes, and the person be talking about like that young lady, and that's why I said brakes, talking about my cooler leaking. I'm like, what do your cooler got to do with your brakes? Then I did the back brakes to make it so bad. So I had no reason other than popping the hood and putting brake fluid in there, which I couldn't pop the hood until she got there. I had the back of the truck jacked up, and I had no film. I did record it. I should have sent it to her. She's the second person that said that I possibly did something to a car. And these young people that don't know how to think, they uncouth, they unlearned, they emotionally driven, and they emotionally damaged. And I can tell because of how they drive. They accuse their conversation is accusing. They don't come with a well thought plan where you know they really counted the cost. Okay, this man, did he do this? What would give him reason to do this? And do I have evidence to prove that? And like I told the lady, look, lady, stop playing with me. You can take that car anywhere you want to take that car. I give a shit. If you think I did damage it, then you take me somewhere else. That means I missed that money. And she just looking. I'm like, no, sis, you dead wrong. Then you don't know. You ain't no mechanic. Tell me some. Well, I never seen stuff leaking out of it. I ain't seen it neither. So what the hell? I can't tell you. What you asking me for? And I'm being honest. And some people you got to get like that with. It's not like I'm being belligerent, but you got to stand firm. You know, people will say all kind of shit about you. We don't deal wisely with wisdom. We don't deal with one another in wisdom. We deal with one another with some damaged emotion. Like we don't have the God-given sense that was given to us before we got here. And everything you needed, the Most High already put it in you. That I'm learning. I'm not picking up the devices of the world no more to get where I'm going. Hell no. That was the purpose of going to school. Now I got knowledge, higher knowledge. That's value. That's what your brother Wayne on, adding value to myself so I can in turn bring that to my people. And my people are those who love the Most High and do His will. It don't matter what color you are. You love the Most High, that means you love His people. You know who we are. I don't have to. We know what time it is. We woke now. You know, I'm happy to say that. I'm very happy to say that. And it tells in everything that I do how I even approach the Most High. Even sitting here making this video, TikTok had me kind of on fire because I'm like, these people tweaking. But the message is to seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness. I don't need these avenues to promote what I'm doing because I'm really living it. You go in and throughout the communities that I'm in and see what I'm saying and see if it's having an effect on people. And you can check that box off. All praise to the Most High. It's not me. It's the Spirit that's moving behind the word. that we share. It's just, it's a custom. It's not something that we used to. I understand why a lot of people turn and be looking at you like, oh, here you go. But you can't reject the Most High's word when you see there's you see people operating according to their higher self and their lower self. So you gotta know that there's a greater at work, family. And then there's a lesser, which we call evil. That's a spirit, and that spirit can be on anybody and operate. We list, we read, but do we really take in? That's like me reading a verse. Okay, I can read the verse, but that don't, and I can go. I could have went to seminary school, but that don't mean I know it. Then we take stock in people because they can regurgitate something, but they not living it. You get the word, then you take that and run to the world and say, okay, the Most High gave me A, B, C, and D. The Most High ain't gave you nothing that's gonna connect you to no contract with nobody, because we know Christ said, make the most. Christ declared, commanded us to make no oaths and swear by. Don't swear by heaven or the earth, nor by your hair. And people don't take that to heart. Do you? I was listening to Ron Dalton, and he was in the interview. Y'all check him out, Ron Dalton Jr. His platform is Hebrews for Negroes. They might strike my channel for that, but you think I'll give a better quit playing? When that book tell you to love not your life unto the death for the truth, that's what you better do. The Most High want to see some motion. He don't want to just hear you. No, you hear that all day. You got eloquent speakers. The only way he gonna hear you is to feel you, and that's through motion. You didn't took on this newness of life. You going this way now, where there's equity with it. There's power in the word, family. I don't know what else to give you. You want to change? There you go, right there. I don't know what else to say other than that. People gonna challenge you. That's cool. Let them challenge you. It won't be the last time you get challenged. But to the soldier, that means that's an opportunity to sharpen my sword. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna sharpen my sword and run you down. You run up on me talking about, well, the Bible is woo. I had a person that it really went off into saying, okay, the Bible is not I got you, Blue Letter. Right now, I don't believe I got any. I don't think I got but $1 on my, nothing but $1 on my Cash App. So I can't. It costs $1 to do that. Yeah, I believe all I got is $1 on there, so I can't send. I'm gonna send some to y'all as soon as I get some bread on there. Get some bread and be able to transfer it. I'm about to make this video more interesting. And my interest in is not gonna look like the world, family. Like I always said, my corporate ain't gonna look. My boss stuff ain't gonna look like corporate. People ain't believing in corporate. We believe on the Most High through His Word. You know what I'm saying? Corporate come and go. The Spirit is eternal. Eternal, baby. That's how I live for real. People will tell you because people hate it. That's all you talk about. You don't go nowhere, you don't do nothing. I do a whole lot. Soon you're gonna sit your ass still and take heed to it. You're gonna stop ripping and running. You're gonna become a student of the word and so highly active in the kingdom. The Most High gonna be proud of you. And He's gonna move you to that, not me. I don't have the power to do it. But if I could, trust me, all y'all would be worshiping the Most High every day. Your work would be to go hit the streets and preach this word. Go establish, you know what I'm saying? Establish your hand. We're gonna give you the tools because you're a king. Can't have you living like a peasant. We got to pump you up. Each one got to teach one, and we got to enable you by supporting what you do. You can't be like them. It's just like I hear a lot of our people. You got a lot of witches operating out here, and then warlocks. Anybody that's telling you it's just us, this group, no. Even the Most High allows the sun to shine on the wicked as well as the righteous. And you're not the Most High, so you can't condemn nobody to nothing. Just look, speak your peace and keep it moving. That's how that go. And I have to learn that. I can't convert nobody. Who am I? You know? I'm just Wayne. Even though this is Wayne, he don't run nothing. But you know what? Y'all playing that Mary? Make me want to listen to it. I didn't get no calls, so today I was making Juneteenth prints. And I got a vinyl machine. I got one of them cricket makers, and I do cut. I make designs. I do sell them too. Car decals, cup designs, shirt designs, hat designs, design on practically anything you desire. Graphic design. Where I sit down on this computer and go in my Cricut space and create. I got a nice little Juneteenth, but I got reservations about celebrating any of these holidays. The Most High is the one who the Most High sent us into captivity. And after 400 years, I see the judgment on this nation. You can say it's not because you're not knowledgeable of thus said the Most High. I respect that, but I'm going to show you. So you won't say, I'm going against nobody's standards. It's the word of the Most High. I don't got time to play games. Let's go with Genesis 15. I haven't done this in so long. I need to do this more often. This is what gives me life, sitting here going through this word. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land, America, that is not theirs, the Negroes, and shall serve them in America, and they shall afflict them in America 400 years. I don't need that. I like to confirm, I like to get the information that proves itself. It aligns directly with the word of the Most High, so there's no questioning it. I just read Genesis 15:13. Pull my Bible up on this phone. I got a Bible app. I use the Bible Strongs with the dictionary. King James with the yeah, King James with the Strong's Concordance Dictionary. Let's go in Genesis 15. Then you gotta look a lot of these words up we be reading, because if you don't, you will miss a whole. You won't come into the fullness of understanding what the Most High was declared when He spoke, and that can contribute to a lot of why we see people acting strange. You would think by them proclaiming they believers and they follow the Christ that their life would conform. You would see certain. I ain't even get into that, but anyway, you would see the evidence. You know a man or a woman by their fruit. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. I don't tell no lie when I speak that. And when I speak that, that's to awaken a people. So just in case you still going through the lethargy of a system that your ancestors didn't create, and certain people feel a certain kind of way, you know what I'm saying? They got to treat you a certain kind of way. That's crazy. Just be honorable, just love. Love destroys when all these nations trying to control others. It's only one group of people, and they spread out into three continents, two continents, and all three continents. But one is a lesser vessel. But they faces is on the dollars you use. And whatever they say, America go right along with it and support that shit because they all related. But when you try to understand, and I say this to show exactly who the Most High is talking about. He's talking to people, the same people you see on this earth today. But religion will have, and people that are unlearned need to sit their ass down and go and read a book before you come out here and try and demonstrate that you know what the Most High is saying. Even me, go and read and learn what He's saying. Then allow that spirit to move you. And when you move in righteousness. And we're going to know if you're the truth or not. Because if what you're saying, if we don't see no fruit behind it, and I ain't talking about no, you driving cars that you don't own, all that is a fucking facade. One of them same people I'm telling you about that own that money, own your ass because you got a loan to go and buy that car. Now, those who went straight and bought their cars flat out, kudos to you. I don't got nothing against neither, but let's keep it a buck because you'll have people delusion and looking at people like the way that they going, oh, this is it. This is all I got to do. Hell no, give it to me in the real. You're going to have to work, young man, young woman, and you can't sit around waiting on nobody. You doing research, you gaining knowledge of your higher self, and then you tapping into ways of your ancient that's successful and brought them prosperity. Just like with the herbs, ain't nobody gonna argue about the herbs because now you see it on internet all day, every site. They herbs, the healing of the herbs. Oh well, the medicals, they talking about science, they talking about the government, they talking about everybody that's against the FDA. They talking about all that, but once upon a time, let's stop and think. They didn't believe. They didn't understand what Dr. Sebi or any other was teaching coming from the natural because they are not a godly people because they don't believe the word. It was God in Genesis. And for black people to go along with that shit talking about, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. We're going to use, you going through the medical, we're going through natural, you know what I'm saying? Natural healing. They have a sector for that. And that you don't do your research to know that, you're going to be listening to what the fuck these people telling you so they could steer you in the way. It's a reason for everything. Just as I'm sharing this knowledge, it's a reason. I ain't just coming on here steady talking about, oh, certain group of people, the Negroes that went through. I ain't talking about all Negroes. Those who have evidence that they people came off the slave ships. Because a lot of y'all done drunk the Kool-Aid. You think your ass came from over here, and your own science that you follow is telling you that all humanity, Homo sapien, came out of Africa, East Africa. So how your ass an American and all humanity began in Africa? That's what the fuck I'm trying to figure out. Let's keep it a buck. But I know of people that's been scattered. Yeah, we understand before all the scattering, there was a migration. And yes, people did migrate, but they came from over east. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we understand the tectonic plates that's at work, that divides the earth, that stretches lands, forms new lands. You know what I'm saying? We understand when them tectonic plates shift, what that causes. We understand, we know, but we not deceived. You know, you got false teachers. Many false prophets have went out. You got a whole, and that crosses in every sector in life. They ask teaching you, how the hell we allow others to teach our children? I don't get it. And we still go along with it, and we expect to see the results of this, the promises from God. But you sitting here listening to a group of people that you won't even question. But you want to question every goddamn thing I'm saying. If I was talking about some ratchet ass shit, some killing, selling dope, we robbing, we partying, we doing everything ungodly under the sun, I'd probably have 1,000 people on here every time I come on live. No, people's minds are not geared because whoever you listen to is not feeding you that. It's gonna be lesser over here because why? You tapped in, I'm not on the third dimension. We not on Earth. We tapped into higher dimension. We going higher in the spirit. So we can't remain thinking on a low level like that. We're gods. It's in your DNA. You don't have that. They don't have to tell me. This, you know what tells me? The Bible tells me so. Now let me finish this. HR 1242. 400 Years of African American History Commission Act. Now, why did Trump pass this measure? You know what I'm saying? For the African American History Commission Act. 400 years of African American history. 400. Same 400 I'm reading in the Bible. So when people try to question me and talk about, well, it don't matter. No, first is they used to tell you, oh, y'all making up stuff. You following a cult. Oh, they're a liar. I knew something was wrong with my people because I'm like, yeah, that Bible is true. My people suffer for a lack of knowledge. And because you won't do your research, consecrate yourself to the Most High, just like you sit under somebody talking about somebody's wife or somebody's husband or talking about somebody's children. You can't sit for an hour and listen to the Most High when somebody sharing what's been revealed to them. That's being written in your book of life. And trust me, the Most High gonna remember that. But that 400 years the Bible's talking about, America passed the Commission Act to commemorate the African American 400 years. What the Bible say? That thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. America passed a bill in 2017, the 115th Congress, 2017-2018, HR 1242, 400 Years of African American History Commission Act. What did it recognize? I'm not even going to put that in. It became law. What did it recognize, family? This measure has not been amended since it was passed by the House on May 1st. I'm quite sure they won't amend it no more. This bill establishes the 400 years of African American history, commissioned to develop and carry out activities throughout the United States to commemorate the 400th anniversary of the arrival of Africans in the English colonies. British. That was British slavery at Point Comfort, Virginia in 1619. We know what we be talking about, fam, because the Bible tells us so. Now, people will question that and say you making another, oh, it don't matter now. When did God say his word don't matter? I'm tired of hearing that too. And I'm tired of hearing these fake religious zealots, these religified ass Christian people talking about nothing against the people, but your religion, we're going to tear it down with the word because it's going to come in conflict with the word, with what the word is speaking. Because the word is not only going to say that, it's going to give you evidence. You're going to see it's not just coming from the heaven. You're going to see it materialize in the earth. Here it is. So when the Bible is talking about his people and it's pointing to signs in the supernatural, which is the spirit realm, know that it's the truth. The Most High says you're going to be cursed. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Who else in the city? The underserved. Because we underserve ourselves. Us that's awakened, we can come together. We don't need no entertainers, no rappers, no musicians, none of them to come and do nothing. They instinctively know if I come across any type money, if and when I come across any type money like that, hundreds of thousands, millions, or billions of dollars up to trillions of dollars, what do you think I'm going with it? I'm not gonna have from y'all. Hell no. That's kingdom money. Yes, I'm gonna have my privacy, but at the same time, the Most High done allowed you to come into that so you can establish his kingdom, establish his word. But a lot of us lose our goddamn mind. It's like Jeff Bezos. Just to show us my name is Dewayne, the Most High gonna take all that. Because he not using, yeah, you could say, why would you say something like that? Because he not using it for the kingdom. He using it to store up wealth where moth and rust, you know what I'm saying, come in and decay. You should have been building the people. They think put money into a destructive system. The motherfucker was destructive when they built it. They weren't operating on love thy neighbor, godly principles. But our people quick to tell you some shit about, oh, that's old. Oh, that don't matter no more. Let's just all get along. Let's all get in agreement with the Most High. I don't care what people doing or what they saying. Let's see what the Most High saying, and let's establish the kingdom. That means establish his word. Speak it. Walk in it. Because it's going to uplift your people. But in the fourth generation, after 400 years, that's 4 generations, family. 100 years is a generation. They shall come hither again. You were there 4 generations. Oh, hold on. Let me go back. I was at 13. Bam. Verse 14. And also, we don't want to miss this. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And afterward, they shall come out with great substance. That nation will I judge. You see it right now. America, Europe, Israel. Anywhere you have that empire, the descendants of the Roman Empire, their nations are being judged. Look how Africa cutting them off. That's a fact. It's not because Africa is being wicked or nothing. Yes, Africa is reminding them of what they done, what they did, but at the same time, we got work in the kingdom to do. We not stuck on them, and that's what I be trying to tell people. We not stuck on them. We need to get this word in us so we can start walking upright, like the Most High declared we would. Once we are coming to alignment, it's an alignment thing. How I'm gonna be aligned with him? Then I take this knowledge and I go asking them for a job. That's not going to enrich him. That's not going to fulfill the promises that he gave me. Or I go and ask them for money to foot the bill. Now a lot of people ain't gonna agree with me on that because they're like, what the fuck is he talking about? See, brothers don't be knowing what they talking about. Yes, we do, because you can use means and ways to make money without even dealing with that system. Well, they're gonna come for taxes. We'll let them come. You pay your taxes. If you feel you need to get them your taxes, pay taxes. I'm not questioning none of that. That's the process. But yeah, the Bible tells us to renew our mind, conform not to the world. So
I don't want that. I want what the king established because that's eternal. All that stuff, they stuff crumbling because it's being judged. That's what they don't want to know. That's what people don't want to talk about. Not just them. You got people that look like you that'll fight you tooth and nail. Like, what are you talking about? Oh no. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not a preacher. They got the Holy Spirit work. All that, hold on. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee. Every nation that's around us, they are up higher. Because why? This nation chooses to do business with those who empower them instead of them, the government, empowering the people, and the people in turn, through their endeavors, success, and prosperity, pay the government taxes on the work they're doing, they trades. Everybody happy. Not America. Mm-mm. And that shit they doing is being judged now. Now they arguing with one another. Then that could be a freaking political stunt. You know, they'll take that publicity and use it to their advantage rather than to allow it to destroy them. So I ain't caught up in what they do. But that shit ain't gonna last. It's being judged. Their house is burning. Stop pointing out people in the direction of that house. You have to build a house based on his word. Brothers, young brothers, you have to be the head, the protector and the provider. You dealing with that woman, don't enter that woman until you and her understand what y'all doing. Because yeah, you can get up and wipe her off and it'll like as if she was never there. But she's not gonna feel that way, bro. She's gonna connect with you, which really you connecting too. Because that's the way the most high made it. But they got us so damn lost in the sauce with their information instead of going to your creator who gave you an instruction manual, you know, that should govern your life if you want to have success and prosperity. You want to have peace, you want to have good health, you want to have a balanced state of mind on a daily. You want to come out of the world and be ye separate. That's kingdom. That's a kingdom culture. You can't be like them and you following the Most High. You believe on His word. Deuteronomy 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Because we don't think to own nothing. I argue with people all day. Oh, you ain't own nothing. Woody, woody, woo. You should get a job. You ain't prospering. Like, that's because you don't believe. I get up every day and put 10 toes down on the ground and I walk around with my clothes. I make offers all day. I try and make my people offers. Some bite, but a majority of them will walk right the fuck past you like you a disease or something trying to jump on them. Like, no, I'm just making an offer. I'm pushing my products. I'm gonna push this like I used to. Now, if I had some drugs, oh, they'll stop. Real talk, they'll stop real quick. I hate to say that, but there's a man got that zip, got that za, or I got that hard, or I got that boy. They coming. They looking for it. Oh, got them shrooms. You the man. But when you on some real shit, you getting this knowledge, you tapped in with the Most High, and you gaining your footing, and as you being renewed in your mind, your heart is not where it used to be. You're not gonna see me. If you see me in the streets, it's gonna be speaking this. And many don't want to hear that. They separate themselves. Yeah, they might have love for Wayne, but they don't want to hear what Wayne talking about because they of the world. They love the world. They love themselves. They don't love the Most High. That's the difference between me and them. Wayne ain't crazy. Wayne reading the ultimate instruction, the blueprint and instruction to life. And I think you should too. I pray that you do. I pray that everybody do, even this government. They don't believe in God. They put their hand on the Bible, but yet their hearts is far from Him. Look at what they doing. We giving Israel money to destroy these people. Them people ain't. Stop playing, man. Let's be honest. Them ain't God's people. You can look at what they doing. You gonna know a person by their fruit. They don't call on Yahuwah. They don't even believe in the Messiah. And they would strike this video if they heard me saying that. You know, they're not gonna push this. This not gonna come in the algorithm. This is not something they want to hear. But you gotta hear it. So it'll strengthen you. It's not gonna harden your heart. It's gonna strengthen your heart in the most high. It's just once your eye, that's why he told them, do not eat from the tree of knowledge and evil. Because why? Look at us. We getting all this information, and a lot of us don't know how to balance it. That's like with a lot of them telling that's not, it's a lot of us not rightly dividing the scriptures. A lot of the Shemite, the descendants of Shem, by way of Jacob and the 12 his 12 sons. We don't even know how to differentiate. We don't even understand, first of all, the king of Salem and what that means. When the king of Salem met Abraham, that means the God of Israel had already established his kingdom. The kingdom had been established already. He had been working with the Shemite people. He'd been working with them. Look at the Midianites, these sons of Abraham. And even before then, the sons of Shem he was dealing with. You have to read the Apocryphas. It contains a lot of history of what was going on. Then I believe they took it out more so because it talks about the Greco-Roman Empire. When you read Daniel, he's talking about the statue of the last ruling kingdom, which are these people today. And it's over with. We see it in, man, it's over. Just to show us my name is Dewayne, the spirit is going to move. People questioning it. That's how you know it's over. And if you newsflash, you better wake your ass up. You better tap into this word and know and be concerned with what the Most High is saying. A lot of people losing jobs. That means they losing security. People panicking. That's why I'm on here promoting black value and sharing whatever you got going on. Bring it on here. Let the people know. Make your video talking about it. Promote yourself. Get active, brothers and sisters. You might not want a job from them. Then that means you need to provide a means for security yourself. And the time is now. It's not later. You have to act now. Turn the video off. Turn the music off. And you got to choose. And make your next choice your best choice. Choose right. Choose what you want to do. You might want to go back to school to get some more. Be careful with that one, but ain't nothing wrong with acquiring knowledge. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but I would be careful where I'm eating, whose plate I'm eating from. I'm being honest. Things ain't what we were taught they were. And that's why I go to the source, to the root of things. Because why? Deuteronomy 28:43, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Y'all heard me talking about owning our own businesses. Stand up, Judah. Stand up, Israel. Your name was changed to represent that kingdom, to draw others into it. It's not just you. That's what makes you powerful. And that's the example you should be setting as leaders. That's the light. It ain't yours, it's the Most High's. Verse 44, he shall lend to thee. Don't we get the lend? We got to get the loans. We got to go to them to get the loans. And thou shalt not lend to him. The people that we know that are super successful, they don't open no banks, independent banks. And only ones doing that now, Africa. Why they talking about Burkina Faso, Mali, and Nigeria? They the only ones opening banks and allowing their people to do business without the pressure of nefarious means or how people choose to do business. Hell no, we don't like it. Some of this shit people doing at these places is excessive. You won't tell them, but I will. And I don't have to do business with them. I know how to be creative in what I'm doing to make my hands strong. I don't need they loans or none of that shit. You should be giving us that money or providing means where we can tap in with what we're doing to bring it to fruition. That way you can get tax money off of it. You should give me a building. All these empty motherfucking buildings, they don't want to make no money. First of all, they jealous of you because they know once you get a foot in there, you're gonna take over. We take over spiritually. We take over because we know shit just ain't right. Y'all ain't been doing right. So when we come in, you know it's a takeover. No, you get your politics out of here. We're establishing a law. And within the law, there's instruction. And when you follow that instruction to a T, it will make you successful and prosperous in this earth. They'll be dumbfounded, stuck on stupid. Like how he do that? He ain't got no loans. He don't have no jobs from them. He look like a bum. He barely get a haircut. All the time you running business, real business. You know how to get out there and shake, move something and shake. You're a mover and shaker. These people jobbers. I'm not saying something wrong with that. You got to get that. You got to get that bread. But you got people that's putting business together. With the mind of a soldier, with the heart of a soldier, how Pac said, and with a brain to teach a whole nation. What I'm talking about, I could teach the nation. The nation can learn. We learning from the Most High, and it's good. It's not mine. I don't have no doctrine or philosophy. I follow the word. That's what we here for. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim, to keep his commandments. What are commandments? His instructions and his statutes. The instruction he established in certain times, like Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread that comes after it, which he commanded. You keep these things. Because why? He commanded it you, and this covenant is forever. But it's a way to fulfill these things. You have to understand there is a greater at work. It's spiritual. And there's one who is the word that come in the flesh, the living Torah, Yahushua. He showed you. Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So these curses and these blessings are going to be on you forever. And one of them in particular can't nobody claim. I just read HR 1242. We read Genesis 15, and the evidence is us. We here in the land that don't belong to us. This land don't belong to us. Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. You see that? And Egypt meaning bondage. Israel, Jacob and his 11 sons, did not go into Egypt in bondage. The Most High in Genesis 46, I'll bring that out next, told Jacob to fear not to go down there. For when you go down there, I will make of thee a great nation. Pharaoh and your son Joseph are going to send them wagons for you and your children and your children's children. And all that belongs to them. He's going to bring you down into Egypt. And he did that. And the Most High made of them a great nation. But it was the Ammonite king that took over, a son of Canaan, an Ammonite, that took over Egypt, destroyed that Pharaoh that was, cool with Joseph and his sons, Jacob and his 12 sons. Joseph was already in there ruling. So they loved Joseph. It was because of Joseph, the nations were saved. They had something to eat. So his fame and power was immense, not just in Egypt, but all throughout Africa. Imagine, wherever there was people. Remember, they was coming out of Canaan. There's other places, but I remember that one in particular. It was coming out of Canaan, another son of Ham. And they was going to get the food out of Egypt. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. What? The land that he promised your ancestors. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Nope. Can't no man redeem you out of slavery, and did no man redeem us out of slavery. Yeah, they'll tell you that's what they fought in doing the civil rights. No, they fought to control the bread. We made a lot of billionaires, millionaires. We made this country what it was. That was through slavery. Free labor is just the truth. The truth is the truth. The truth is the truth, no matter how you shake it. And I'm gonna speak it. Them bondmen, my last name is Reese. That Reese came out of Britain. Look it up. That's a Welsh name. That came out of Britain. What did that HR 1242 say? The English colony in 1619. Because why? They signed the Asiento contract with the Pope in Spain, the Crown of Spain, to provide slaves to build the new Spanish colonies. There's a book, Negroes in the New World. Sir Harry, let me get his last name, let me look it up. I believe it's Winston. And let me look it up. I don't know why that damn Winston came across my mind. Oh, Negro, the Negro in the New World. Blew my mind, kings and queens. Blew my mind when I first read that. About y'all are Hebrews. Some people say Jews, but I don't say that. We are Hebrews. That term, Jews are Judeans. Well, actually, yeah, the Jews are the converts. We Southern Kingdom, Judean, by the way. The Southern Kingdom of Judah. That's where the so-called Negro come from. From the house of Shem, the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel. And that's a fact. But their community standards gonna tell you some other shit and try to make you look like you lying, you making up something. Like, stop. We can read. Y'all wrote these books. Where you think we got the influence? So you telling me y'all was lying? Shut up. I don't play. I don't play with these people, family. And how you know the black man is not Hamitic? Because they got dang on Bibles. They told you so. Zondervan Comeback Bible Dictionary. Ham, not the Negroes. The youngest son of Noah. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 90 years of the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites, not the Negroes. So I don't listen to these people when they talking that bull crap. Where's that book at? Sir Harry Hamilton, The Negro in the New World. You can go on Google and download that. You could buy it. Let's talk about Negroes in here. The Kingdom of Judah, Negro land. See how this name Negro is everywhere and it's relating to what we say it is. But when you hear, oh yeah, this book, what's that? Page 34. I was gonna say channel 34. You're talking about the Negroes, and it'll blow your mind. He called y'all the Jews. Gee. I was like, what? This book is old as hell. You know, this book was written before a lot of information. Hold on. America before the Negro came. The Negro subspecies. What that chapter? Man, it's crazy. Slavery under the Portuguese. Chapter 1. Mm-mm. I'm gonna bring that back out. Yeah, because these people lie to you and try and make us look like we're making up information. You just lying. Like, really? They jealous of you, family. You got people that are jealous because God chose to put his love, put his covenant on you. He chose you not because you are greater and all that pompous bullcrap. He chose you because he wanted to make you his people. He wanted to show mankind his love towards them. Hold on. If he is not content with the position against which the Jew has chafed and struggled from 300 BC to the Russian pogroms of 1905 AD, he was determined to do as the Jew has done, make plenty of money. Money solves all human difficulties. They talking about the difference. That's crazy. Let me get this. Let me get make sure this is. Mm-mm. We finna bust all y'all head. Bust their head with the truth. A Zulu, Negro, NATO. Hold on, family. These people keep up. People, our women just keep up a bunch of bullshit. They don't know how to coexist. Every day, it's a group of y'all that's out here just talking shit about each other all day. It's never nothing positive. It's causing strife. Y'all clamorous. And these are black women. I can't say somebody else. And it's not all of us, but it's crazy how y'all allow that shit to coexist. I understand the angry man. I understand angry man when women be saying certain things and he highlight to show the difference, to show you how these women, they ass really be tweaking. You got to straighten it out. That's why I do this. Get that word in you. Get that word in you. You can overcome the world. They're gonna tell you all kind of bullcrap. Okay, I got to get back in this book. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get to this page. You don't crush. You don't crush them with their own words. This book here will blow your mind. This book will blow your mind, man. I'm like, they wanna argue and fuss with you. All you got to do is go and read books that's way older. You have to go back 1500s, 1400s. I mean, you're gonna have to go back from. It's just as simple as that.
Asiatic Negroes. I told them Asiatics are Negroes. We got the books before the classification. We now understand why so many Negro tribes is in the basin of the Congo have a craving for what they say, argillicis, a clay's food. They are infested with hookworms. Get your ass out of here. That's some shit y'all concocted. Them people was putting their food together how they knew how to eat. They didn't need your fucking diet because you don't understand the diet. Our diets are different. Our genetic structures, our makeups are all the way different. What they thrive on and exist on, and we don't. We're different from them. All the way different from them. Stronger than them. These motherfucking people savages. They don't ain't no finessing or none of that. They straight up savages, family. You can say what you want to say, but I'm gonna tell your ass the truth. I'm gonna read this to you. The Negro subspecies. This is what these ignorant ass people will say about you. I want to show you this. What's that? Catter youth. What they say? Negroid tribe in southern India. The Negroes are Shemites. These are the people who, why you don't, okay, Negroes, the Elamites of Mesopotamia appear to have been Negroid people with kinky hair and to have transmitted this racial type to Jews and Syrians. There's a curliness of the hair, yes. I put shea butter in my hair, you would think I had an S curl. Together with a Negro eye and full lip and the portraiture of Assyria, which conveys the idea of an evident Negro element in Babylonia. We told y'all we was over there, but they want to argue. Well, argue with the information that they recorded when they came upon your people. Don't argue with me. Argue with the author, and you can't. Oh yeah, I'm gonna read some of this. On everything, I'm gonna read a lot of this because, and I'm gonna take y'all with me. Ooh, yeah, because they talking about the Asiatic Negro. That's why Ali probably was red. That's probably why he told him no. The Asians ain't never did nothing to me. Why would I go over there and fight them? Yeah, I ate in the Philippines. Okay, there. Let's get it. Negroes in Asia are traces of the passage of a Negroid people through Sumatra and Borneo and the island of Timor, and markedly so in New Guinea. New Guinea now. Though here they have mingled with the Australoid and have produced the well-marked Papuan race. The exciting population of the Solomon Islands, of New Ireland, and of the New Hebrides are much more Negro-like hybrids, are much more Negro-like in physical characteristics. In fact, most nearly akin to the African Negro of all the Asiatic or Australian peoples. Asiatic Negroes also seem to have entered Australia from New Guinea and to have passed down the custom, the eastern part of that continent, till they reach the then peninsula of
Tasmania. Not, of course, without mingling with the Australoids. There's a Negroid Melanesian element in Fiji and as far west as the Hawaii archipelago and among the Moors of New Zealand. In a such less degree, also, I gotta go outside. Hold on, family. They got that bullshit ass TV bullshit on loud like you fucking deaf. You ain't the only one here. Excuse my French. They watch the garbage as shit. But when it comes to knowledge, don't nobody want to hear none of that. God gonna strike your ass, nigga. Stop. Now let me where's quiet at. Turn all that bullshit on while you trying to read. You deaf or something? Fuck these people slow out here, y'all. On everything. Black people will fuck your shit up. Don't trust them just because they look like you. Them the motherfucking haters. Y'all got excuse Uncle Wayne, but Uncle Wayne gonna tell it how it is. You might not like it, but I'm gonna tell it how it is. These niggas will fuck your shit up. Watch they jump hating ass. Dicky hits. They straight dicky hits. Hold on, folks. In fact, I'm gonna grab my gym shoes. I'm gonna finish reading that because I've been reading that information for years, but this Sir Harry Johnston really gets into a lot of information, which we know Negroes, we just read how they seen us over in Mesopotamia, Asia. So when you hear these why every time somebody say something, black people talking about that was them? Because we know, we not asking your ass, we know they wrote about it. That's how. That's why. If y'all hadn't read it, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be saying it. Because why? I can't prove it, family. So if I could prove the thing, all that other stuff is out the window. That's what it means to renew your mind. I'm gonna get right back in that Bible. I'm gonna finish that. I'm gonna read a little of this and then I'm out. I always got to drop some real knowledge on you. So when you sitting there and they telling you that bullshit, you can teach them. You knowing this is a call to action. You can't just get this and think life just gonna continue to go the way it used to be. No, no, no. Mm-mm. You get that knowledge yourself, then that means you got work to do now. Let me get out of here because I don't even watch that kind of shit. A lot of people watch the worst shit for us. Hell no. We got to grow out of that low state. We on some real stuff. Okay. Okay, new hybrids, I'm gonna start back there, are much more Negro-like in physical characteristics. In fact, perhaps the people of New Ireland are the most nearly akin to the African Negro. So I'm gonna make that shirt. I always want to make a shirt that speak to the African Hebrew Israelite. But that's like a kind of that's kind of off, but then it's not because Shem did migrate into Africa, even into the heart of Africa. Is he still Asiatic? Yes. That's why we have an Afro-Asiatic language. Hebrew is an Afro-Asiatic language. We share a language with the Hamites. Remember, Hebrew was the first language. That's the language the Most High used to establish the earth, family. Don't get it twisted. We talking about the God of Israel. I don't know no other God. Okay, back to what I was sharing. Okay. are the most nearly akin to the African Negro of all the Asiatic or Austro-Asian peoples. Asiatic Negroes also seem to have entered Australia from New Guinea, and to have passed down the eastern part of that continent till they reached the then peninsula of Tasmania, not of course without mingling with the asteroids. There's a Negroid Melanesian element in Fiji. Yeah, Ron Dalton brought that out. Hebrews to Negroes. Check that out. It's in the movies. He do genetics, archaeology, what other sciences he used to study? They do DNA, they do cranial analysis. I mean, they do anthropological analysis, studies and finds. They use the latest information that America used. They already know. It's in the books that's in the Library of Congress. This book is in the Library of Congress. And it's talking about you, the Negro, the Hebrew Israelite. There's a Negroid, okay, Asian element in Fiji and as far west as the Hawaii archipelago and among the Maoris of New Zealand, and a much less degree also in Burma, Annam, Hainan, Formosa, the Ryukyu Islands, and southern Japan. We already knew it was Negroes in China and Japan. Because why? All that land in the east, it's no mystery why Russia is reaching out to our people like that, family. Your people was in the middle of the earth. All that is Shem's land. Next paragraph. The Elamites of Mesopotamia appear to have been a Negroid people. Yes, they were. Even those people over in, who was that? The Medo Persia Empire? They was Negroes, them black people. Darius and them was black. The Elamites of Mesopotamia appear to have been Negroid people with kinky hair and to have transmitted this racial type to the Jews and Syrians. There's a curliness of the hair together with the Negro eye and full lips and a portraiture of Assyria which conveys the idea of an evident Negro element in Babylonia. We know he was there. We know, you gonna lie, but we know, quite probably the very ancient Negro invasion of Mediterranean Europe, of which the skeletons of the Alps Maritimes are vestiges, came from Syria and Asia, Mike, on his way to Central and Western Europe. So when we tell you the Hebrews are in the Philippines, Negroes is all down through there, stop arguing with us. Go do your research. Go to the Congress Library. The information is there. It is possible that in or on the verge of Arabia, the ancient basal stock of the generalized Negro party, divided into two great streams of divergent immigration, one to proceed to Europe via Syria, and the other to pass through Arabia to Egypt and tropical Africa. So Negroes did sojourn down into Africa. I wonder why. And they say we all the same people. Wonder why they didn't get this book. Wonder why the teachers never researched that. Then you got books like From Babylon to Timbuktu. Wonder why they never read those books and looked at the genetic research, cranial research, jawbone structure research. Why? Crazy. In Arabia or in Egypt, it may be arose the difference between the long-headed African Negro and the rounder, shorter-headed Bushman. The last name becoming more habituated than his congeners. to a life in arid deserts or scrubby open country. The African Negro was again differentiated properly in East Africa into three main varieties. The what's that? Pro, the prognathus. These words, hold on. Let me stretch these words out. Strand, what's that? Strandioper type, of whom vestiges living. Okay. The Jews are composed of three or four separate racial elements. The Asiatic Negro, let me show you. That's all I want to show you, and I'm gone. Curly, kinky hair, Mesopotamia, India. The Jews are composed of three or four separate racial elements. Itself, three or four racial elements. The Asiatic Negro strain shows its hair shows itself occasionally in the curly hair and long eye and proportions of the skull. The Jewish hybrids, you hear that? Hybrids with the Negro in Jamaica and Guyana reproduce more strikingly the Assyrian type, Supra. You gotta look that up. It is quite conceivable that the great peninsula of Arabia, you hear that? Yeah, because that's Shem land. Shem are Asiatic people. Was more populated as far as its natural conditions allowed by a primitive Negro stock. You want to call us primitive, you bastards, which may have been later on partially exterminated. By changing in unfavorable conditions of climate and by after coming of the white man in his types. So we know the first Hebrew Israelites were black Negroid people. I don't give a shit what they say. We know the truth now. Once you know the truth, you can't go back to a laugh family. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up, Jacob. And I'm about to go in here and create. I done did a little read. Sir Harry Hamilton. Get this book, Negro in the New World. Can't make this up. Fossils are found in South Africa and the Sudan, too. The forest Negro and Congo pygmy of the Congo Basin, Cameroon, West Africa, Uganda, and portions of the Baral Ghazal with powerful torso, long arms, disproportionately short legs, very long head, considerable prognathism, prominent eyes, and a long upper lip. And three, the Nilotic Negro. Look that up. The Nilotic Negro. This last, which is not without Australoid and European Negro affinities, seem to proceed from an early intermingling between the Proto-Caucasian and the Forest Negro, but is a sufficiently ancient hybrid to have developed characteristics of its own due, no doubt, to its original habitat having been the vast flat marshy regions of the Upper Nile Valley and the basin of Lake Chad. The Nilotic Negro has disproportionately long legs and is one of the tallest races of man. The facial features vary from good looks of the straight nose, Hamite to the prominent cheekbone, everted lip Negro of Central Sudan, whom there is a strand looper element. The forest Negro may be seen in his more pronounced type of powerful chest, huge arms, and short legs, and very prognathous face. I got to look that word up. They use that word a lot. In the denser forests of Congo Basin, in the Niger Delta, and in a modified form along the west coast of Africa, from the Gambia to the south of the Congo. But the physical type occurs sporadically in many parts of East Central South and Southwest Africa. The mingling of Nilotic and forest Negroes in past times have produced many tribes of black men with splendid, comely, and harmonious physical development. Yeah, Negroes got it like that. Their limbs having much the same proportions as those of well made them, while the face also has acquired, to my well made, a certain refinement of feature. This is the physical type. So much, but not exclusively, associated with the speaking of Bantu languages. Ron Dalton, you was right. They just don't do their research to know who the Negro is. The Upper Congo tribes, people of Tanganyika and North Niassa, the Swahili, Yeo, Akamba, Baila, Batunga, Bakaranga, and Zulu. It is, of course, possible that the Negro may not, okay, of Hamite, Semite, and Iberian. The Hamites, or ancestors of the Egyptians, Galax, Somalis, etc., may even have been the result of intermixture in Arabia between the Mediterranean type of white man, Libyan, Iberian, Persian, and the Bushmen and Negro of ancient Arabia. They called us savages of ancient Arabia. Dig that. Unless the Negro and many other mamma, mammalian types of modern Africa entered the continent from Europe via Spain and Morocco, Sicily, mountainous Syria, Sinai, Egypt, it is difficult to avoid the conclusion that both Western Asia, that Arabia must have been once an important halfway house to Africa from both Western Asia and India. Yes, it was. That's Shem's house. And we getting it back. The systematic exploration of this vast peninsula, which is existing fauna, is slightly more African than Indian or Palearctic, would no doubt solve many enigmas in the geographical contribution and origin of mammals and of mankind. But it is also rendered very difficult by the lava beds and basalt, the shifting sands, heat, aridity, and most of all, fanaticism and superstition of the native tribes. I don't blame them. Stay suspicious of these bastards. They calling you, yeah, they calling you fucking savages. I don't trust them. Of Hamite, Semite, or of the Iberian. The Hamites of ancestors of the Egyptians. Okay, I read that. Okay, we just got through reading that. Been the first type of human being to enter Africa from Arabia or across the Isthmus of habitable land between Mauritania and the Central Sudan. Mauritania. Dig that. The dark continent may have been particularly colonized by offshoots of Homo primigenius, or by the generalized Australoid form of H. sapiens, Homo sapiens, or even have received from Asia intermediate anthropoids akin to Pithecanthropus. Traces of asteroid infinities and skull formation are not uncommon in the equatorial belt of Africa from east to west, and there are remarkable resemblances in customs, weapons, and implements between the most primitive tribes of the equatorial belt of Africa and the Australoid of Australia. Then again, the Negro was soon followed up in his appropriation of Africa by the Caucasian of an already nigrified Mediterranean type, Libyans, who wandered across the Sahara, dispossessed the red-skinned pygmies of western Nigeria, absorbed some of the forest Negroes, and formed such hybrid stocks as the Songhai, Mandingos, Fula, Nyam, Nyaminyan. I heard that name before. Hamites, Egyptians, and Gala occupied Egypt from Arabia and pushed westward across the Libyan desert, mingling freely with the long leg or short leg and prognathous Negroes, and thus called into existence mixed race like the Tibu. These are tribes over there now: Nubian, Ethiopian, Maasai, and Dorable, Hema, Gala, Somalia, Danakil. There's been much infiltration of Caucasian blood from Europe and Western Asia in more recent historic times. Pre Islamic Arabs, undoubtedly, notwithstanding the disputes as to the builders of Zimbabwe, were connected with and settled in Southeast Africa, perhaps more than 2,000 years. Yeah, because the Arabs and the Negroes are brothers. Arabs are Shemites. They come from the sons of Keturah, Abraham's wife. Abraham is a Shemite. These are indicators of what they say. A man of Hadanoah tribe near Salkin. I don't know what the Salkin. You have to look that up. These Ethiopians of the northern Eastern Sudans are closely allied in blood and language to the Gala and Somalia, and in a lesser degree, but not in language, to the Fula of Western Africa. There are indications that the ancestors of the ancient Egyptians, themselves probably of Hamitic, they were Hamites, race coming from southwest Arabia, found the lower valley of the Nile, then to a great extent cut off from Mauritania by gulfs, lakes, and deserts, and the occupation of a primitive Negro or strand looper race. Dig that. So Egyptians and Negroes did come together. Stand looper, shore runner was a nickname given by the Boers to the Nathas savages. Dang. Dig that. Of the South African kitchen middens. Dig that. They just calling us all kind of savages. Negroes, Bantus are the same. They must have taken to themselves concubines from the South African Negroes, and these last, possibly not yet Bantu in speech, may have, Bantus are Negroes, already created the Hottentot hybrid with the Bushman in Southwest Africa. Dig that. Already created the, then from 1000 AD onwards came many Arabs, Persians, Belukis, and Hindus to the East African coast. From out of the mingling of all these elements in different degrees arose the African people of today, very few of which are without some tinge of Caucasian blood due to the white man's persistent invasion of Africa from, let us say, 12,000 BC to the present day. Just couldn't get enough of black folk, huh? You hate them so much, but your ass couldn't stay away from them. America before the Negro came. The relative remoteness in time of the first human peopling of the two American continents is still an underdetermined question. The present belief is that man had already permeated Asia and Europe and possibly parts of Africa before he invaded the North American continent from northeastern Asia, or if he reached North America in one of the interglacial periods, and thence spread to South America. He was killed off in the northern continent by the final triumph of the ice, while in South America he may have dwindled away to nothing before the supreme difficulties of the endless swamps, pathless forests, and still vigorous wild beasts. The human types which are indigenous to the Americas of today are divisible in two racial groups: the Eskimo and the Amerindians. Amerindian. The Eskimo is a long-headed Mongolian in that respect is the most primitive from living of the yellow skin, straight-haired, hairless body, narrow-nosed subspecies of Homo sapiens. But in other directions, this Hyperborean race, originally from northern Asia, is much specialized. The Amerindian was seen to be a mixture in varying degrees of a Proto-Caucasian type, like the Anu of Japan, the Eskimo, and the Proto-Mongolian, and some of his North American developments. He stands very near to the Caucasian, from whom he differs mainly and only. Dig that. Alright, I done read enough. It's been 2 hours. I done killed enough time. I'm going to read some more and create. Peace and blessings, family. I hope you learned something. And check that book out, The Negro in the New World. It's deep. And it's going to help you in a lot of what's been lied to you about. To bring things into the truth, into order, where we can grow, we can own, and establish the truth. The truth is the most high. Nobody tell you nothing different. Y'all hear me? All right, y'all. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Be a blessing. Don't be stressing. Be a blessing, baby.